Nothing in this podcast or on our website should be construed as medical advice. Consult your healthcare provider for your individual nutritional and medical needs. The information presented is based on our research and is strictly that of the author and not necessarily those of any professional group or other individual.
Hi, I'm Sue Becker from Bread Beckers. Welcome to Sue's Healthy Minutes. I'm so excited you've joined me today, and I hope this episode encourages you and allows you to find the answers you have been praying for the health of you and your family. Today on Sue's Healthy Minutes, I want to share some great It's the Bread stories with you all. Usually, I like to interview each person so they can share their journey personally. But my schedule for travel and speaking events has been so booked that I simply haven't been able to coordinate the interviews. But I have received a few emails with some pretty great testimonies that I thought were simply too good to put off sharing with you all. So today, I will simply read a few of the stories to you. The first one came in actually asking a question, but then her PS added was priceless. PS, this may be a new one for you. I'm a country singer in Nashville, and I could tell a difference in my vocals, more endurance, not struggling to hit high notes I usually struggle to hit, after only 36 hours of eating the bread. I thought maybe it was a coincidence or even a placebo effect, but I'm absolutely convinced now that I am singing better since bread. And my best friend, who is on tour right now with a popular country singer, has started eating it. I send her on the road with 2 loaves a week. We're hoping it will help with her fertility issues, and she swears she's singing better as well. What a great story. So my next one says, I've officially been a faithful, freshly milled flour bread lover for 3 months now. My health journey has been a long and difficult one. Over 15 years of chronic illness that at one point left me weighing only 95 pounds and surviving on just 5 foods. I was so sick that I had to walk away from my 16-year career in Hollywood. Since then, it's been a constant fight to find healing and hope. A few months ago, I was introduced to your podcast, Your Bread, and immediately had hope that it might spark some new direction for me. Living with mast cell activation disorder, or MCAS, I've had severe reactions to almost everything I eat. Food has become something I fear, not enjoy, as I try to avoid going into anaphylaxis. But when I heard your story and the rich history behind real bread, especially the biblical foundation, I was instantly excited and felt a flicker of hope. I am thrilled to share that not only can I eat the bread, but for the first time in 15 years, I've found something that brings me nourishment and energy that I love. It feels like I've had the flu every day for over a decade, and suddenly my body is starting to remember what it used to feel like. I even started screenwriting again, which I wasn't able to do since getting sick with all the brain fog. Even though I still have a long road ahead, I wanted to thank you deeply. Your work has given people like me, those who have felt sidelined by illness, a reason to believe healing is possible. I'm so ready to step back into life, and your bread has helped me to take that first step with heartfelt gratitude. She signs her name. So many symptoms she listed living with MCAS, and she's believing that she's going to get better. I just have such a heart for people that find themselves so restricted by food, and I'm praying for each and every one of you for food freedom. So my next one comes all the way from Australia. She says, I'm writing from Australia and just wanted to say thank you. I honestly don't remember how I came across your interview with Alex Clark, but it caught my attention, and I'm so glad it did. As I listened, I had a real aha moment. Everything you said made so much sense. That led me to dig deeper. I watched your 3-hour video, and she's referring to the Real Bread, the Staff of Life, and I knew I had to give this a try. I started researching mills. I bought a bread maker, and although I couldn't find a mill locally, I managed to order one online. I was so excited when it finally arrived. A bit of background. I've suffered from migraines for most of my adult life. About 8 years ago, they got worse. I've never liked relying on medication, so after some research, I discovered magnesium helped. I learned that if I took it daily, I could prevent the migraines. But if I forgot, even for a few days, by day 3, I'd get a migraine. Well, here's the exciting part. I've been eating real bread for the past 7 days. I haven't taken a magnesium supplement in 5 days and no migraine. That's a first in years. I also struggle with sinus pain without congestion and usually take pain medication daily. I'm hopeful that this change in my diet may help with that too. Fingers crossed. One challenge I'm facing now is getting whole wheat locally. I'm hopeful that as more people become aware of the benefits of real bread, access to fresh whole grains will improve and this way of eating will become more mainstream. I'll definitely keep you posted, but I just wanted to reach out now to say thank you for the work you do and the knowledge you share. It's already making a big difference in my life. Oh, and my ketosis pilaris has noticeably improved. So my next testimony comes from a young mom. She says, I started milling in November. Literally a couple of weeks later, I got pregnant with our 4th child. After I had our first son in 2016, I had not been able to hold a pregnancy. I had 3 consecutive miscarriages between fall of 2018 and spring of 2019. It was devastating. In August of 2019, I became pregnant with my second son and was only able to sustain the pregnancy by monitoring my progesterone and taking very high doses of oral progesterone through the first trimester. In June 2022, I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. Again, I had to take high-dose progesterone to keep the pregnancy. So when I got pregnant this time around, I knew that would be the case. I'm 36 now, so arguably it should be harder. But I didn't need progesterone at all. The only change I made was the flour and real bread. Our son was just born on July 22nd after a 40-minute labor. It was my only delivery without back labor, and he is so healthy. He started lifting his head just a couple hours after delivery and is just doing so well. We already eat healthy, are very holistic, and crunchy from cosmetics to cleaning products, etc. But I truly believe this one change made such a difference. Not to mention, has helped with my oldest's eczema, my mom's lifelong allergies, and of course, keeps everyone regular. I've gotten close to 10 friends and family members milling. I joked when I started this journey that I wouldn't have time to work because all I want to do is talk to people about this and make bread because it truly feels life-changing. So grateful for all the education and knowledge that you share. Its impact is truly immense and life-changing for so many that you'll ever know. Wow, that was a great testimony. So my next one, this one is very interesting. You're going to all love this one very much. Hi, Sue. For the last few years, I've not been able to sweat. My body was not processing enough waste, and I ended up with a clogged liver. This also negatively affected my kidneys. After listening to your ads for so long, I decided to give your products a try. I'm in my 4th week of making my own bread, and for the first time in years, I'm sweating. This is the only change I've made in my diet, so it has to be the bread. My liver is no longer congested, and I feel great. Okay, this is the best part, I think. I'm 85 years old, have multiple health problems, And it's a wonderful relief that I have finally got my sweat glands working again and liver congestion under control. Plus, this is a fun new hobby. Wow, 85 years old. It's never too late to find real bread. Okay, let's see my next one here. It says, hello, Mrs. Becker and whomever at Bread Becker's who reads these emails. I have been a listener to your podcast since the first episode after having learned about the fresh flour from the talk you had done in a church, I believe called the Bread of Life. Well, let me tell you, that was life-changing. Right away, I spoke with my husband about getting a grain mill, and we got it within weeks, and I started milling and making quick breads, and soon after that, yeast breads, my first time bread making. It also gave me real joy in baking for the first time, knowing baked goods were giving health to my family's bodies. So I got the mill and started milling and using the fresh flour pretty much exclusively for our baked goods consumption 4 years ago this past spring. My then 5-year-old daughter had been dealing with many warts, probably at least 10, and I had done all the natural things to help heal them with barely any success. Well, in comes the bread, and all of them healed without my doing anything else in about a month of eating the freshly milled breads. It was so exciting. Also, our 2 boys, our first 2 children, were born at 26 and 28 weeks, 22 months apart. They were healthy micro-preemies, but as small children, they were always on the slower side of growing. When the bread entered our home, I noticed more vitality in them. They just seemed stronger and to be growing well, even if they are still a bit on the slighter side. My husband and I are too, so that's also genetic. Also, my one son had lower iron at times as a younger child, and that has not been a problem since the bread. They are all full of energy, and these kids are all healthy. We rarely get sick and generally recover very quickly if we do. So we have 5 children altogether, our oldest turning 15 this week, and our youngest will be 2 in the fall. After our youngest's birth, our first baby after the bread, I noticed I wasn't ravenously hungry after her birth like I had been breastfeeding the others. I got back into baking soon after having her, as I didn't have any tearing or any complications, and I had energy to take care of all of my children all day long. I even rarely took a nap postpartum or even during her pregnancy, during which I also baked the bread all the way through. A real blessing when my husband didn't have paternity leave and we didn't have much family help nearby. I make 4 to 8 loaves of bread a week now, thanks to have gotten the Anchus Room mixer from you all, as well as lots of other baked goods. And I am making plans now to start a micro bakery to supply some fresh milled baked goods to our community. Thank you for encouraging us to share our stories. I love how remembering these things is such a beautiful reminder that Yahweh says we overcome with the blood of the Lamb, the real bread of life, Jesus Christ, and the words of our testimony. I loved so much how you brought scriptures to life in your talk and connected how the fresh milled flour was always meant to be a staple in our diets, since it is full of almost all nutrients we need for life. I never knew this before, and it was such an eye-opening experience to learn for the first time in my mid-30s. I truly believe Yahweh used your testimony and Bread Becker's to bring this health-giving bread and the joy of baking into my life. Thank you. As I read these stories, it really struck me how much God cares about all of our struggles, no matter how big or small, complicated or simple, and how much it must bless Him when we notice His intervention and healing in our day-to-day life. And I thank you for this simple gift of real bread, the staff of life. I hope you are as encouraged as I am today as you listened to each of these It's the Bread stories. Until next time, this is Sue Becker from Bread Becker's with Sue's Healthy Minutes.
Sue's Healthy Minutes podcast has been a presentation by the Beckers Incorporated located in Woodstock, Georgia. For more information, store hours, and learning opportunities, visit breadbeckers.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast and never miss an episode. Share this with 2 friends who would benefit from this information, and be sure to join us again next week for more of Sue's Healthy Minutes.